Hey guys, it's Lindsay. Welcome to Mama Shmoo's Homeschool Reviews, where I share all things about homeschool on my channel. We finished level 2 probably back in November, and I wanted to share with you guys our full review on it, how we like it, what we're using, what we're not using, all of that stuff. I just wanted to make a note that I did a review on level 1 when my daughter was in first grade, and I had lots of things that I would have liked to change, but they did a new edition, and the level 2 and level 3 that we're using now is very revised, and they listened to the customers and they did a lot of great changes. So I will show you that in the book as I go through it, because if you've seen my level 1 review, it's definitely changed, I'm sure, level 1. So I want to give you guys like an updated version of my review. We started kind of at the end, unit 4, so we skipped 3 units because the reasoning behind that, it's a very simple story. Well, kind of. We did master books for 2nd grade. It worked really well for us at the time because we just were in the transition of wanting to do some sort of change, and it was exactly what we needed. I always loved The Good and the Beautiful, but it was just something that my daughter didn't like at that time, and we just needed a change, and the change was good. If you hear any small little voices, my kids are playing a game, so you'll hear them in the background. So anyways, so we started with unit 4 and lesson 88, and it goes all the way to 120. So we finished this up in November. So now we're doing level 3. But I really like The Good and the Beautiful and how they set it up now in the revised version. Let me like move this over a little bit. It's kind of glossy. I have this like protective cover sheet. I actually printed this out for free. The level 3, I got the book. The book is a lot nicer, but I just didn't want to get the whole entire level 2 if we were just doing unit 4 and 5. So the target spelling words they put in here, they put the supplies that you need, the books used in the level 2, the homophones, the spelling patterns, rules, and principles taught, and it's great for someone that wants to just quickly look at it as a teacher and see what you're going to be doing. I think it's a wonderful like addition that they did not have with the first one. I like how they lay it out and put things all together in the lessons, so it's very, very helpful. The first page of the lessons are usually where the parent and the kids do the work together, so you're going to be reading all of the things in blue to them, and then there's going to be dictation, so they're going to be writing in their notebooks, so you'll have to have a notebook or something, or a dry erase marker board or a chalkboard or anything, a window where you can use your dry erasers. And then there's independent work, which is great. So there's contractions that they did on this date, and then they added apostrophes. So that was that lesson. It looks short, but I might have skipped a page. Oh yeah, they had a art study, and in this book we didn't print out the art studies because they're a color, and so I just looked on our laptop for that. So if you're looking to save money on printing stuff and you're just like hesitant to print out all of the lessons, I just skipped the art pages and then we just did on our computer. And then I didn't do the back and the front of the pages, which it's just pure laziness. I just printed the front. So this is lesson 88, so there's lots of things to read with the kids. They do their shared readers. We read the shared reader on the computer a little bit, but most of the time I didn't do that with her. Right down here it says read at least 10 minutes of the books from the Good and the Beautiful list, and I didn't do this either. We actually just had, she just read from her favorite books that she has. She has a series of books that she's been reading, like the Puppy Place books. We've been reading a lot of different ones. The Little House on the Prairie, like different books like that she likes to read on her own. So I'll just, you know, check this off, and then I usually write the book that she's reading. So there's some of the things you don't have to like absolutely follow, but they're great suggestions. Now with level 3, we are actually using the reader because I bought the reader and it's very interesting, and I like, I thought the reader's good because right now they're talking about Native Americans, and they do history, and they do different like things, and I think the level 3 reader is more her level than level 2 was. So we have the book for that, and then we have the poetry book for level 3, which is so great. So I'm going to get back to level 2. So here's the independent practice where they do homophones. They practice homophones a lot, which is great. These are words that are often like misspelled with even adults. So I like how they do that. And then they have their targeted words that they like to do little activities for. So for instance, they are putting this one in alphabetical order. They're using these words to fill in the blanks. and the spelling pattern practice with the MB. And then they have some stuff here. Now geography I cross off because we were not doing geography, because we were doing the Story of the World unit study for the first quarter of this year. So we were looking a lot at maps and globes, and so we didn't need to do that because Story of the World provides all of that. So I just crossed off all of the geography, and she just did her independent practice here. So she would do this worksheet, and then we would edit it, and usually we would do these together, and then another contractions worksheet with apostrophes. And so she would do this all independently, and then she has her reading for the day, which she usually would read in the morning or at nighttime. And so that is what she would do. Additional to this though, we do use Explode the Code. So she was doing Explode the Code 5 or 6 during this time. So we do additional worksheets with this, not every single day, but at least a couple times sprinkled throughout the week. We also do the Good and the Beautiful handwriting, and we also were trying to do the typing a little bit, and mostly the beginner cursive she's been doing. So that's like our whole like grammar and language arts program. Whatever new rules you're learning, you'll read to them, and they do their dictation here where they have their notebook and they write words. And then here's the independent practice here. So I'm just going to go through this a little bit so you can kind of have a sense of what is to come if you're looking into level 2. Now, this is at the last part of the book. So this is unit 4 and 5. So there's 3 other units that are probably going to be a little bit easier. So I'm kind of skipping that. So if you're looking into it and this looks a little hard, go on the Good and the Beautiful website and you can download the PDF for free so you can see exactly what they'll be doing for the first 3 units. I like this one. This one was really good. Messages in a book. They were talking about good messages in a book and bad messages in a book, and they're like comparing books. I know some people read Diary of the Wimpy Kid, and some people read Harry Potter, some people read C.S. Lewis, like whatever. These are just what they interpreted and what they are, you know, talking to the kids about. So you can take it at whatever angle you want, but they're basically showing you 2 different books, and making fun of people and being impatient or lazy or unkind are in some books. And it's definitely depending upon, you know, what your standards are in your family. I always feel like curriculum is a very good guide, and you just do whatever your family feels strongly about. So you don't have to follow any specific, like, guidance from a curriculum other than, you know, following the worksheets and, you know, grammar, all that stuff. But everything else that has to do with faith and standards and things that you believe in, obviously you just teach your kids the way that you want to. But these I wanted to talk about. This independent practice, they started doing sentence diagramming, and I think they did it a little bit in the level 1 at the end, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe we did in master books. I think I'm getting confused. But I think sentence diagramming is really, really good to point out the subject, the verb, the article, and the adjective. I think it's super helpful for them. Then they did a lot of, you know, adding ing, taking out the silent E. So there's lots of independent practice. So I feel like with this new edition, with the Good and the Beautiful, they have definitely gotten more of what I really wanted from them at the beginning, where, you know, the parent and the daughter, or the parent and the son, go over, you know, the spelling rules and the grammar and some of the things that they need to know, and doing the practicing the word ladders and phonics, and doing dictation and spelling is always done in the lesson. And then it's just so nice that they have like independent practice. So I think this is short because I think 248 and 246, yeah, there was a picture study in here. So we would do the picture studies. In level 3, we do all the picture studies. Level 2, it depended upon if I had my computer out or not. I think they're very important. I think they're fun. My daughter kind of likes it, sometimes not. Sometimes she does, sometimes she's not, just to be honest, but it doesn't make me not like this program for her, because that's just one component of it. I think their grammar, their phonics, and their spelling, and how they put all of this variety in their lessons is definitely really well thought out. Here are lessons of prefixes and suffixes. It's hard to say. And then we were doing the syllables by clapping, which is so fun. I love doing that with the kids. Even my first grader loves doing it too. Independent practice, there's sentence writing here. I like the variety of their spelling things. In level 2 and 3, they have like, you do yoga poses, or you write on a window, or you write on paper, or they'll do different activities with spelling to make it more fun. With level 3, they do like an index card, and so we just put it in the front, and that is fun to do it that way. It's a little different. Or I think, oh yeah, they have it on here. On an index card, write the words that are on the chart to the right, and then lie on your back and spell each word 3 times. And then for each letter, lift one leg. So it's fun. You can do the activities, or if your kids are not into it, you don't have to do it, but they make things fun. Now they're introducing the TI for the sh sound, as in nation and station. So that's what they were doing there. Independent practice. This is oral narration. And some poems they're reading, possessive nouns, the power of biographies. This one was a good one. She learned how to, she read this biography, and then we did a story on here. She absolutely loves writing her own stories. She just didn't do the illustrations. This lesson we're learning about synonym and antonyms, which was really great. So she had to match them all up, all the synonyms, all the antonyms, and poetry. So there's a really good wide variety of things that they're learning. They're not core standards for like school standards in any way, but they definitely cover a lot of stuff that they need. I feel like the Good and the Beautiful is a little bit over the level that they say, like level 3 is a little bit advanced, level 2 is a little bit advanced. I know level 1's definitely advanced, so if you are having a kindergartner do level 1, that might be super hard. Even a first grader doing level 1 is a little hard if they're not a strong reader. So I suggest to a lot of people, if they're not a really strong reader, level 1 might be hard. So you might want to use the free PDF and do half of kindergarten and then start level 1 later on in the year. That's just my opinion. That's kind of what we did for 3rd grade. She did some of level 2. Because I wanted to make sure she had a good, strong foundation instead of pushing her to level 3 right away, so that we didn't like miss anything. So we went to level 3 afterwards, and it worked out perfect. So level 3 we started at the end of November, and so it's working out really great. I think it's exactly where she needs to be. So pronouns, this is a art picture that I printed out, so it's really pretty art. And there's art studies, and lots of the activities say like find the nouns in the picture, think of adjectives to describe the picture. So they're using things like that to reinforce things that they've learned in the lessons. Here's a personal narrative. We also like editing the stories together. So we go through it together and we look for things that need to be capitalized and punctuated. I really think that this is cool because one day, I mean, they might be editing something for a book they wrote, or they might be on a marketing team, or maybe they're going to be writing an article in the newspaper. So it's very important that our kids, know how to write without using the computer fixing everything for us. So this is definitely important. And then see, this is one of the do these positions and then spell the words. So it's very fun. This is Sir Isaac Newton and his dog Diamond. So this is a book. A little story that they read, or she read, I don't know why I'm saying they, me and her. And then homophone practice, they had to circle the right one, past tense verbs, and so on and so forth. They also really got this down in the book, where they really made the kids understand commas in a series. So they understand that they do a comma after each, subject, and then they use the word and after the comma. So she really knows, when she's making a list and she's writing a sentence, to do commas. So that is very important. Fact and opinion. So you can just see like all of the good stuff. I have lots of, really great things to say about this new edition. Like, I'm very impressed about like all the stuff that they have done. This one is to read the following passage out loud while highlighting the words that have double consonants in the middle of the word. So that was very fun. So everything has like some variety in it. It's not always like the same. This one was to write a letter to an artist that drew a painting, which I don't have in here because it was on the computer. So instead of writing a letter to the artist, she really wanted to write a letter to her grandma, which I thought was great, and we still use the same format. So we didn't do the geography for Italy, but we did read the Dragonfly poem. We did the spelling rules, more sentence diagramming. We learned about literature and symbols. So I think, yeah, we went in the Bible, which was actually great because she loves going into the Bible and reading some verses for herself. And so these were just talking about the Good Shepherd, stories from the New Testament, and then the house built upon sand. I just crossed this off because we didn't read the personal reader, so she read her own book, and then I just asked her some questions orally, so she answered those. So that's how we do that sometimes. We just make things up on our own, or we do our own books, and we don't use their books. But they do have a good selection of books. I think one day I'm going to buy some, but I'm just more of like a thrifty kind of girl, so I like to get used books from the library, bookstore. So when they have a sale, maybe I'll grab some books from the Good and the Beautiful. Oral narration, independent practice, and pronouns. They're talking about past tense and present tense and future tense, so they just had to write the words and fill in the blanks. They had a poetry memorization and some spelling and grammar review, editing a story, past tense verbs ending in Y. We did this geography this time because I wanted her to label the continents. And then this one was fun. They highlighted all the words that had double consonants again. Those were fun ones. And then last but not least, this is the final project. We read a poem. They had this page, but she typed hers out. And they wanted them to write a paper that expresses their gratitude for all those who have a part in giving you a good and beautiful education. So it says, think of all those who made it possible for you to have a good education, including God. Explain in your paper what the people do for you and how they bless your life. So we discussed it together, and then I gave examples, and then she typed her paper that I haven't printed out yet. I have to put in her portfolio, so this is just my little note. So that is it. That is all of level 2 for Unit 4 and Unit 5. I hope this shows you like a overview of the book and how we liked it and how we're using it and how you could change things up a little bit. People do add to it if you want to. It's a very thorough, complex language arts program, but we do explode the code just because I feel like it's nice to have some variations in worksheets and workbooks. But if all I had to use was one program, it would be this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next review, which I should be having soon, which is for Song School Spanish for the Volume 1. And yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. If you're not subscribed, I would love to have you guys join Mama Shmoo's Homeschool Reviews. Have a wonderful day.